for joining us. So we have Satish today. He is such a beautiful soul. He is going to beam his waves of love, light, and laughter into your soul. I'm telling you, this is a beautiful interview. So thank you for sticking with us. And tomorrow we have Skip. Oh my God, I am so happy to have met this person. He is an incredible person. He has coached people all over the world, many celebrities, and he is really uplifting people right now. He does an event called Supercharge Your Life, which is a 3-day event, and it's really about like just how to nourish your body, your soul, your spirit. And also he just does these incredible experiences. So come along to Skip's interview. You're going to learn a lot. He's an incredible speaker. And remember, if you're interested in the superfoods, just to click on the email. You can click at the bottom. I think I have a link to those there. Sign up to the VIP and you can meet all these awesome people. And you can have all these recordings forever in case you want to go back and like remember some of the stuff that you missed. So we're so grateful that you're still here. Thank you for participating. I trust you are getting what you need from it, and I will see you tomorrow. Hello and welcome to Empower Your Health Naturally, another episode we have today, and we have the awesome Satish. And Satish is a peace activist. He's a former monk, and he is a long-term environmental activist. So at age 9, he left his family. He joined the Wandering Janes, and at the age of 18, he then chose to become more active in his campaigning. So he was contributing to the land reform in India. He was seeking to continue the legacy of our dear Gandhi. And he's written many wonderful books. One of his more recent books is called Elegant Simplicity, and it is all about his journey when he went on a peace pilgrimage for 8,000 kilometers, and he walked from the USA to Russia to London and Paris. I'm sure more other places. I probably didn't cover them all, but and he actually came to deliver a package of tea to the 4 world nuclear leaders at that time as a protest. So he is a guiding spirit behind many ecological and educational ventures, and he is also an activist in animal welfare and compassionate living. So I'm really grateful to have Satish here today and listen to his teachings about how we can support our health on a more spiritual level. So welcome, Satish. Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure. So let us begin with a short meditation.
Okay.
Because for our health, we need meditation.
Yes.
And so in order to begin the meditation, we bring our both palms together as a symbol of unity. Left and right together. Below and above together. Masculine and feminine together. Matter and spirit together. Together we are whole. Together we are complete. Together we have unity. With this sense of unity, breathe, smile, relax. Breathe, smile, relax. And as we breathe, we are mindful that all living beings upon this earth Humans and other than humans are sustained by the same breath of life which we breathe. Thus, through our breath, we are all connected. We are all related. With that sense of unity of all life, we breathe, smile, relax. We breathe, we smile, we relax. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Lead me from death to life, from falsehood to truth. Lead me from despair to hope, from fear to trust. Lead me from hate to love, from war to peace. Let peace fill our hearts, our world, our universe. Peace, peace, peace. May all beings upon this earth, humans and other than humans, live in peace, find fulfillment and self-realization. Breathe, smile, relax. Breathe, smile, relax. I am my body. I am my breath. I am spirit. I am pure consciousness. I am compassion. I am love. I am truth. And may I offer all my thoughts, all my words, and all my actions in the service of all, in the service of all, in the service of all. And may I think, speak, and act mindfully throughout the day and the night. Then meditation becomes a way of life. Again, breathe, smile, relax. And then bow to sacred earth, sacred life, sacred universe. And with a sense of unity, connectedness, and relatedness, we feel one with the whole universe. Thank you.
Namaste. Beautiful. Thank you for this centering meditation. And this is, for me, one of the greatest blessings that I learned from Mother India when I traveled there. And yeah, so I know that you have a lot that you can share on the subject of health. And there's many things to talk about today, but I would love to start by asking, what do you think, like the three most important habits that we can have for our well-being? If you can think of three main habits that you keep for your well-being.
First habit we to cultivate is not to worry about anything. Worry brings ill health, mental ill health, physical ill health. So if you can do something about what you are worrying, just do it. If you can't do it, you can't do about it anything, no point in worrying. Either you do something about it and just do it. And if you can't do it, just don't worry, forget it. The first and foremost habit you need to cultivate is reduce, if not altogether stop, worry. Number two, every day, if possible, 1 hour walking. That is a very good habit to cultivate. However busy you are, however pressing other things are, your emails, your jobs, anything you are doing, but just being out in nature, in the lap of Mother Earth, walking under the trees, walking along the river, walking in the field, walking on a hill, walking by the sea, along the coast path. Wherever you are, go out in nature. You are nature. We be one with nature. 1 hour walking is good for mental health, emotional health, physical health, total health. That's a second habit you need to cultivate. The third habit you need to cultivate is start your day with some calm, meditative reading or studying, some beautiful poetry which inspires you, some beautiful book of spirit, not entertainment, but inspiration and imagination. And poetry for me is the best. Poetry can save the world. Poetry can save the soul. Poetry can free us from everyday worries, can lift us up at the level of the imagination. So start your day with some inspiring reading, poetry or prose of great teachers like the Dalai Lama or St. Francis or Thich Nhat Hanh or any other great teachers of any religion, doesn't matter, as long as there's a wisdom. So either poetry or prose or something spiritual reading. So these are the three habits I would like to suggest that we should cultivate.
That's beautiful. Thank you. I think I'm the first two I do pretty good. The third one I'm gonna bring in for myself now as inspiration from you. So thank you.
Okay.
Yes. So there's many things we could talk about. I would love to ask about I guess what initially was cultivating the strong faith that you have. I know your faith started you were quite young when you had your faith, by the sound of it. So I'd love to
So
know.
I was brought up in a Jain family. My mother was a very devout Jain. Jain religion is very similar to Buddhist religion. And in Jain tradition, the supreme principle is principle of non-violence. It's like non-violence and love. But non-violence is First, do no harm.
Mm.
That is the beginning of spirituality. That is the beginning of social cohesion.
Mm.
That is the beginning of environmental integrity. So do no harm, non-violence, not violating anyone's territory. And so that leads to reverence for all life. Life is sacred. Life has intrinsic value. All life, human life and other than human life, which includes animal life, plant life, water life, mountains life, bird life, all life, sacred. And therefore, reverence for all life and non-violence. And that means that taking from nature only to meet our minimal need, true need for our survival, basic need. So we need to reduce our needs and expand our imagination and creativity and spirituality. So my Jain faith laid the foundation in my life for non-violence, do no harm, reverence for all life, respect for all life, unity of life. That was my faith.
Beautiful. And what I mean, we have obviously a lot of faiths in the world, and we have a lot of different beliefs, and there's spirituality, and there's religion, and there's atheism, and all. What would you say to someone who, because at this time, like globally, I think there has been a big test for many of us, and you know, how do you cultivate faith when you're in that kind of testing situation? How would you say that to anyone from any background?
Religion is only a door into spirituality and faith. What religion you follow doesn't matter. Whatever religion you are given, you are born into, or whatever religion you encounter or come into your life, doesn't matter. You could start with Christianity or Hinduism or Buddhism or Islam or Sikhism or any other religion. That's a door. What it needs is that once you enter through that door, then you don't need to worry about the door. You have to find the space in the house of the spirit, house of that compassion, house of love, house of kindness, house of generosity, house of service. These are the real spiritual values which are derived from our faiths. So faith is not necessarily related to any one label. All the religions are labels. You can call yourself a Hindu, a Muslim, a Christian, a Buddhist, a Jain, a Sikh, or whatever. That's a label. Like you call yourself English or American or Russian or Chinese or Japanese or African, whatever. Those are labels. Beyond that, we are all human beings. In the same way, beyond all religions, we are spiritual beings. And our spirituality is not under any label. There are no labels in spirituality. The words I use are just indicators like compassion, kindness, generosity, love, a sense of service. These are just indicators. So if you can practice that humility and live a life of service and creativity and imagination, and through your spirit, you express yourself through your work, through teaching, healing, singing, painting, writing, gardening, farming, whatever work you do, you transform that work into spiritual work. So your gardening becomes spiritual. Your cooking becomes spiritual. Your teaching and healing becomes spiritual. So spirituality is not outside. Spirituality is within you.
Yes.
In you are an embodiment of spirituality. Spirituality is not in the books, whether it's the Quran or the Bible or the Bhagavad Gita or any other books. Spirituality is not in the buildings like the temples or the churches or the mosques. Spirituality is not in the images like the image of the Buddha or Jesus Christ or on the cross or any other image. Spirituality in your heart. And if you practice that spirituality in your heart and you express that through whatever work you do, art, craft, music, medicine, teaching, whatever you do it as a spiritual practice. That is the real faith. Whatever name you have of religion, that's only an entrance, a door to let you in. But once you are in, don't worry about the door. Worry about the space within.
And how would that apply, your teaching, how would that apply to someone who was an atheist? Could they still cultivate those qualities without the aspect of faith?
Even being an atheist, like a label, it is a label. Like being a Christian is a label, being Muslim is a label, being Hindu is a label, being an atheist is a label. So whatever your label you have, move away from the label. Like you have something on a little bottle or a tin, something label, what is the name in it? But that name and that label is not the food which is inside the tin. And so you have to go inside. And even you are an atheist, are you compassionate, kind, humble, loving, caring, sharing? If those are the qualities you cultivate, doesn't matter what your label have. You can call yourself atheist. I don't mind. As long as you live kindly and lovingly and caringly and look after the planet Earth and look after the trees and be kind to animals, be kind to other people. That's what matters. The greatest religion is religion of non-violence. The greatest religion is religion of love. So my religion is love. My religion is not Hindu, Muslim, Christian, or Jain. My religion is love. Even if you are an atheist, you can have a religion of love.
I love this. It's beautiful. Perfect. And we said we were going to talk about love on this interview, right? Because you're writing a book, or no, the last book that you wrote, you speak a bit about this religion.
No, we can talk about love in the sense that love is the answer to all our questions. When you love the planet Earth and the forests and trees and mountains and rivers, all nature, then you take care of that. Love unites. Love unites the head with the heart. Love unites a woman with a man and a man with a woman. You love nature, you are uniting with nature. If you love poetry, you are uniting with poetry. So love is the healing power. Love is the transformative power. It transforms our ordinary life into extraordinary life. And so if you want unity and rise above duality, rise above separation, then it's the love which helps you to rise above that separation. At the moment, we think that nature is out there and I'm here, the separation. So I can exploit nature. I can cut down the trees. I cut down the forest. I can do what I like. I kill the animals for my food, or I can do what I like. There's a separation. So love brings an end to separation and creates unity of life. And so, and it's a love works at many, many levels. Man-woman love, romantic love, and erotic love is very beautiful. Through love, we create. We create children. We create a home. we create a garden, we create something together. It's a kind of journey together, journey of life together. So in the same way, your love expands bigger and bigger and broader, and it goes from one individual that you love, your husband or your wife, to your children and your mother and your father and your brothers and your sisters and your neighbors and your community and your village and your town and your city and your country and the whole planet Earth. So it's all the time expanding your love. And when you embrace the universal love, then the cosmos becomes your country, and Earth becomes your home, and love becomes your religion. And that's a kind of transcendental state. Love brings you a transcendental state. You transcend from petty, narrow nationalism, petty, narrow racism, petty, narrow individualism, and you grow into inclusive and a large-hearted, and expanding your consciousness, expanding your mind, and that is the kind of power of love.
It's beautiful. And that leads me on to a question I wanted to ask, which is about consciousness, because I wonder if you can speak a bit about why consciousness is important, and what part it's playing in the time we're living in at the moment.
Life is made of two complementary powers. One is the invisible power of consciousness, and the second is the visible power of matter and consciousness. And so consciousness is like space. Without space, you cannot build a house. If there's no space, you cannot plant a tree. If there's no space, you cannot have a mountain. So everything is in the space, but you don't see where the space is. There's no nothing you can touch, nothing you can feel. It's only you know, you realize, you have the understanding that I am in the space. But where is the space? I can't smell it, I can't taste it, I can't touch it, but it is there. Without in the space, without being in the space, we cannot exist. So in the same way, consciousness is something you cannot touch, you cannot taste, you cannot smell, you cannot see, but it is there all the time. And everything happens, all our thinking, ideas, religions, poetry, novels, or everything comes in consciousness, and is born in consciousness, and then it takes a form, and that form is visible, and you can see that you can have a kind of religions, you can have poetry, you can have music, you can have philosophy, you can have a science, you can have theories, you can have everything you can have. So consciousness is that potential within which everything can be held and everything can be manifested. And so everything is made of these two aspects, the invisible consciousness reality and the visible material reality. And we have to embrace both.
That's beautiful. And what would you say to people who maybe aren't present to their own consciousness? What steps could they take to cultivate their consciousness?
First of all, you have to recognize that I am pure consciousness. I am my body, I am my breath, I am my imagination, I am my compassion, I am my love, and all that is happening in my consciousness. I am conscious of the fact that I am my body. I am conscious of the fact, reality, that I am compassion, kindness, love, truth. All that, who is realizing that? How do you know that I am my body? Only through consciousness that I know I'm my body. Only through consciousness I know that I practice compassion and humility and generosity and a service. And so only by focusing on this thing, then how I live in this pure consciousness, which is uncontaminated by anything like anger, fear, jealousy, pride, possessiveness, desire for name, fame, power, wealth, money, etc. You are free of all that, and everything you accept as they come. Like you accept the ocean, you accept the mountains, you accept the forest, you accept your life as it comes. And there's a little bit of anger, a little bit of fear, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of love, a little bit of compassion. Everything is there in life. Like in the universe, everything is there. So when you are in pure consciousness, you can hold everything without being disturbed.
Yeah, this is beautiful. And what do you have a particular kind of meditation that you practice?
As I said in the beginning, that meditation is a way of life. And your consciousness is not concentrated in any one particular hour of the day. That now I am developing consciousness. Consciousness is there as an organizing principle of all life. So my whole way of life is a kind of meditative way of life, where I am conscious of my action, I'm conscious of my words, I'm conscious of my being. So the conscious living is meditation. Conscious living, living mindfully all the time. You are mindful, you are aware, the awareness of every moment, and awareness of your being and your presence and the state of your mind. You are aware of the state of your mind. That is a consciousness, and that is a kind of meditation. So I try to practice meditation as a way of life. But as I said, that when I go walking in nature, I am doing walking meditation. And when I am reading poetry of Rumi or William Blake, I am in meditation, reading that like meditation. It is not reading like entertainment, or not reading like for information or for academic study. I'm reading as meditation.
Okay. So meditation, for those who may have not been practicing this before, I mean, the way I'm defining it is like you have a single point of focus that you have an awareness on, and you're I guess like aware that you're aware in one way. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. Because awareness is kind of word which is close to consciousness. Consciousness is to be aware of your state of mind, to be aware of the state of your heart, to be aware of the invisible reality in which you exist. You are not just what you can see with your two eyes. There's a third eye. The Indian philosophy had an idea of the third eye, the eye of the imagination, the eye of the consciousness, the eye of the awareness, which is a third eye. And that with third eye, you can see what is not visible with two eyes. Two eyes can only see what is visible in a material world. But with a third eye, you see the non-material world. And that is the world of consciousness and the world of awareness.
Yes.
So look with your third eye. Look with your third eye.
Yes. That's great.
And see beyond what your two eyes can see.
Yes. Okay, I would love to speak with you for days, but I know we don't have all the time today. But I wanted to just finish up by just talking about your book, The Elegant Simplicity. And you said it's the answer to many questions. So
Yeah.
can you, like, I know it's a whole book, but can you summarize like the philosophy of that for us?
Yes, yes. In summary, um, at the moment we are facing climate change
Mm.
and environmental crisis. It is because we have been living not simply but extravagantly, and extravagance brings waste, and we are wasting so much. 30%, 40% of food is wasted.
Mm.
There's just so much waste of material things. So we take from nature and then throw things away on the landfill. So we need to be frugal. And that's the elegant simplicity. So if you want to address the environmental crisis and the climate crisis, then we need to reduce our impact on planet Earth and reduce our footprint on the planet Earth. And that is the reason I say the way of elegant simplicity is the way to save the planet Earth. Then social justice, the problem of social justice, inequality. Some people have too much. 1% of people own maybe 50% of the wealth of the world,
Mm.
and 99%, the other 50%. This is, and those 1% of people will have private yachts and private jets and one house in Paris and one house in London and one house in New York and one apartment in Tokyo, and they are flying all around in private jets. That kind of wasteful living uh, creates social injustice. And so live simply so that others may simply live. That is the key that in my book I am explaining and describing. For social justice, you need elegant simplicity. Then more than all that, for your personal contentment and your personal happiness, if you keep seeking more and more and more, there is no end. If you don't know when enough is enough, whatever you have, never enough.
Mm.
So you need to know that this is enough. I have enough. I'm contented. I'm fulfilled. Now I will not need more and more material possessions and material goods and desire more material possessions, but I will spend my time in reading, poetry, music, art, craft, gardening, family, friends, walking, nature, all those things which I'm missing out because I'm working from 9 to 5, 5 days a week, 6 days a week. I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I have no time for myself, and no time for friends, no time for poetry, no time for music, no time for creativity. So you are personally, people are unfulfilled because they are seeking so much material wealth and material possessions. So I would say for your own fulfillment and for your own happiness and for your own satisfaction, you need contentment and you need elegant simplicity. So, but simplicity is very simple in a way. Any fool can make things complicated. It requires a genius to make things simple. So even your mind or thinking should be simple. Be straightforward and simple. Don't complicate things. Even your words should be simple so anybody can understand what you are saying and don't have to make it complicated things. So in speaking, in thinking, in working, in everything that you do at every level of your life, you need to adhere and pursue a simple way so that you can be happy. So simplicity is the answer to personal well-being, social well-being, and environmental well-being. So that's the kind of main idea behind the book. And there are many, many other things there about forgiveness, about generosity, about all the kind of spiritual ideas are in the book. So if your listeners and viewers are interested to pursue it, they can get the book. And I also publish and edit a magazine called Resurgence, an ecologist. And so that is also a kind of a vehicle for ecological, social, and spiritual fulfillment. And so people can look into that and find out all the information thereon.
Wonderful. We can include a link for that
Okay.
for our audience as well. because I'm very much behind the philosophy of resurgence, and I think awareness and education is an important step towards change in the world. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm so glad you touched on the subject of the success and fulfillment, because I think we live in a society where we're being told like that we have to have X, Y, Z, all of these things completed to be successful, and there's a lot of pressure in that. It's like to earn a certain amount, to be married, or to have a car, or whatever it is, right? So there's this social pressure, and I think it's important to bear in mind that if you look at many people in the world, like there's very famous people who have become very, very successful, and they took their own lives because they didn't have the fulfillment. They were going after the success, but they didn't have the fulfillment. And I think it's a really key part for us to learn.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So instead of seeking success, seek fulfillment.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to be successful, be joyful. Because the purpose of life is not success. Purpose of life is fulfillment and joy and happiness. And that happiness is not outside you. The happiness is not in goods outside you, possessions outside you. Happiness is in your heart. Happiness is within you. So, and that happiness comes from contentment and satisfaction and creativity and imagination and love. Love is the source of happiness, not possessions.
Yes, and love is something that we already have. We already are, so we don't need to
Exactly.
outside for that either.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. Thank
So
you.
love yourself
Yes.
and love people and love nature. Loving yourself is as important. That's the first step. If you don't love yourself, how can you love somebody else? If you don't love yourself, how can you love the planet Earth? If you don't love yourself, how can you love other people? So loving yourself is accepting yourself who you are. And so love means accepting without expectations. So to love, you have to drop all your expectations. Do not expect other people to behave this way or that way. But so instead of expectation, you have acceptance. That is love.
Yes, beautiful.
And in order to cultivate the loving relationship, you need to drop what I have written in an article in Resurgence. You have to drop 4 C's: criticizing others, complaining about others, comparing others with somebody else, and controlling others. These are the 4 lethal anti-love C's. So no need to criticize others, because everybody has their own way to do things. There is no one way to do something. There are 10 different ways, 20 different ways to cook potatoes. There are 20 different ways to cook rice. There are 20 different ways to clean the house. There are 20 different ways to do the garden. There are all hundreds of ways to do it. So don't say that everybody should do the way you want them to do. Let everybody do in their own way, and do not sit in judgment and criticize others. That is the way to love. And then you don't compare people. Or you do this thing, but somebody else is doing better than you, or somebody else is doing more important than you. All those comparisons with others. Everybody is a unique gift to this universe. So celebrate everybody as they are. Everybody is beautiful. Everybody is wonderful. Everybody is a great gift. And so do not compare one person with the other person. Just value, cherish, and celebrate each person in their own right, as they are. No different at all in any way. And that way, and then not criticizing, not comparing, and not complaining. That's a third C. And then do not try to control other people. Control yourself, control your own emotions, control your own anger, control your own fear. and overcome your own situation rather than trying to control other people. So if we can avoid these 4 C's and accept others and yourself as you are and as others are, and do not expect anything more than what you are, then that is a way towards love.
And peace as well.
And peace.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Love and peace go together.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This has been wonderful. I'm so grateful for you to share with us today, and I want to thank the audience who is listening to us. Thank you for joining us for this talk. And this is Satish Kumar, and he will also have a free gift for you to click on. And this is a way you can find out more about his work and what he's doing. And do you want to say anything about that?
I think this is perfect, and as you said, you can put the link to Resurgence, and through Resurgence, yeah, people can buy my books if they wish to.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, we have more interviews coming in the next episodes. We're going to cover all bases of empowerment, so stay tuned. And we will, I'm hoping perhaps have Satish on again for future episodes, because we have I think further to talk about this. And thank you again for your time. And
My
yes, namaste.
namaste.
Namaste.